Okay, fit for purpose discussions. I'm going to discuss a couple of quick things. They're going to be linked, kind of, but it'll be centered around goals, targets, momentum in training, staying consistent, the good stuff, but more specifically to do with staying focused on your goals around this time of year. So this time of year is prime time for New Year's resolutions. It's the time that people feel motivated. They want to leave the previous year behind. All of those things that kind of they feel, right, I'm ready for a new start. I'm ready to hit 2025. It's going to be the best year yet. And obviously we're not in control of that. We can only control so much, and really our attitude needs to be framed in a way that it's 2025 will be as good as much and as relative to the input that I can have in that outcome, because there's always things that come along that just throw a spanner in the works, and we are not in control of that, whether it's sickness or injury or circumstances in families or work or anything that can kind of put a bit of a dampener on things. They will come along. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when those things come along. So we need to keep our heads screwed on to know that our health and fitness is not something that should be dependent on circumstances. It should be something that is just a part of life and that we do regularly. That, yes, maybe we might not get the perfect session in, but we get a session in. If you find if you don't have time for a training session, I'll challenge you. If you have 10 minutes, you can do 10 burpees every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. You don't need to warm up. You just start a clock and go. I promise you, you'll feel like you've done a workout by the end of that. And that is enough to just keep the ball rolling. And honestly, you won't feel like doing it. You definitely will not feel like doing it, but it will keep the ball rolling. Now, when it comes to your fitness, guys, and when it comes to staying consistent and having a mindset of consistency and momentum, it's important to have some things set before you that you can always come back to as the baseline of why you're doing things. And it's come up loads recently about because of the new year, people are setting goals, targets, all this stuff. I personally signed up for the Belfast Marathon, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have this newfound hunger to want to go running, really strangely enough. I don't know how that'll be a few weeks into this program. I'm starting next week, and we'll see how that goes. It's very, very cold at the moment, so that could make an interesting start to training for that. But I'm very motivated to get into training for running the marathon. And I've got my app, my plan all set up, ready to go. And what I have had to do, though, is think about how I'm adjusting my training as a total volume of training. So CrossFit and my daily workouts they will have to be slightly adjusted so that my body can handle the volume of exercise it's getting across the course of the week. So, but that's fine. But I know that up until the 4th of May, this is what I'm doing. There's 4 months where that's easy. I'm done. I know for 4 months I'm training regardless, unless something unforeseen happens. And this is the power of a goal. This is the power of setting a target and putting some skin in the game. You're paying money to enter this thing, whether it's a marathon, a half marathon, a high rocks competition, a CrossFit competition, or it could be an event. You know, you're getting married, you're going on holiday, all of these things that on the face of it seem maybe a bit superficial. It's like, oh, I want to get fit to look good on my holiday. That's actually a really good goal. Like I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's a brilliant thing. It motivates people. The only problem is whenever you go on the holiday, if you've done everything you possibly can and you're still not happy, that's the problem. There's a mindset thing there. There's a thing of we need to be able to know that we've done everything we could possible and we look the way we look. Do you know what I mean? And you have ticked the box of being diligent and disciplined up until that point, and that should be the attainment of the goal, not looking like a certain picture or image you had in your head that maybe wasn't even realistic in the first place. Now, so that for me, that's just a little bit on goals. I don't even know how much of that for you is going to help, but what I would say to you guys is if you're struggling with motivation, if you're struggling with getting consistent even in this early stage of the year, find an event, find something that is going to challenge you, push you outside your comfort zones, going to require you to train in a certain way that if you didn't train for the event, things would end very badly. And a great driver for consistency is when you pay for something, when you know that the consequence of going and performing poorly is going to partly be a little bit embarrassing. You're going to be like, I know in my head I could have done more and I didn't. When you have that in your mind, that can be a big player in how you train, because you know you've put yourself down for this thing and you're like, I'm gonna do this and I want to do it well. And that's a great attitude. It's a good way to stay disciplined, because you want to hold yourself to a high standard, and I am totally okay with that. The last thing I'll touch on is the negative effect of these kinds of goals, and I touched on it briefly there when I said about the holiday thing. Whenever it comes to the thing, we have to remember that the performance on the day, if you know that you did everything you could, you ticked off your sessions, you prepared in a way that you're proud of, and on the day the performance doesn't go well, maybe you don't look the way you want on holiday, maybe your high rocks time, what you had in your mind, what you maybe completed in a simulation was a lot better than what you did on the official high rocks event, or you run the marathon and you cramp up at the end and you can't finish it, or you have to walk to the finish and your score is and your time is way off what you predicted for yourself. The actual result on the day is pretty irrelevant if you know you've put the work in. So we need to condition our minds to understand that setting the target is a motivator and is a mechanism to allow us to be consistent and allow us to build our bodies in a way that when we get to the said target, we are in a better condition than when we started. The actual event is just a point in time that's a celebration of all the work you just did. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. But you've still prepared and built your body and conditioned your body to perform the task. So guys, I hope that that helped. As always, I kind of go off on a bit of a tangent about those things, but I would love to hear your thoughts. And even if you're you want to have a chat about these kinds of things, about goal setting or anything like that, I would love to have a chat and see where your heads are at. But I'll speak to you soon. Bye.